Hello and welcome to the Life's Fantastic Joke podcast with me, Jake Ball. Today's episode I'm really excited by. I had the opportunity to come back to Derby and spend some time with Jamie QUINCE-STARKEY, who is the leader, founder, visionary behind Down to Earth Derby, which is a nature-based community who are passionate about reconnecting people with nature and bringing that regeneration to the city of Derby, essentially. Jamie has massive vision for the country and for the future of our kids and the education system as well, but he's sparked something incredible in the city centre of Derby, and I'm privileged to know Jamie from when I lived in Derby a few years ago. We have some close mutual friends, and this conversation has been something that has been in the pipeline for a while. Disappointingly, had some real challenges with technology. It was a really hot day, one camera overheated, my phone camera just decided to lock itself 12 minutes into the conversation, which is really frustrating. I also had an audio setup which did manage to survive the entire chat. So this is a real hodgepodge interview, but I've managed to capture all the gold that Jamie shared with us, and you can still see some of the beautiful scenery that we were sitting in. It was filmed in Electric Daisy, which is the site that we talk about. I'm really excited for you to hear this conversation and to learn more about what Jamie's doing in Derby. Big thanks to Tim for letting me stay, and big thanks to the team at Down to Earth for their hospitality, their enthusiasm and their generosity with their time. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoy the episode.
Right.
You good?
Yeah, sound. Fucking sound.
You got the DTE shirt on as well?
Yeah, bit of merch placement.
I've got Maury's Sandwich Shop from Southampton.
Nice.
These boys love it.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're good, man. They do focaccia, big fat sarnies.
Nice.
That's what you need. Mate, thanks so much for doing this, and thanks for hosting us as well.
It's finally happened. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has,
to be
hasn't it?
fair. I can't remember the last time when was the first time you asked? Then we were going to do it, then we didn't do it. It feels like 5 years ago.
It probably was.
Well, actually, you lived in Derby.
It probably was about 3 or 4 years ago.
You lived in Derby, didn't you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it probably was.
yeah.
21 or 22.
Yeah.
Right, so for people who don't know you, actually, I'll tell you what I'd really like to start with is just like the story of Jamie. Everyone probably knows, or lots of people will know, a bit of Down to Earth story, a little bit about Electric Daisy, which is where we are now. But tell me a little bit about you. Like, what's the origin story? Where did you grow up?
Story,
what was it like growing up? What was it like being a young Jamie?
Absolute vagrant reprobate. We're definitely recording, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%.
We're not going to do that thing where you have a really good chat and then it stops recording.
Go on, let's double check, shall we? Oh yeah, look at that.
Nice.
You're starting to sweat as well.
Nice.
Perfect, mate.
Little glimmer.
Yeah, go on. Beautiful chat.
I grew up in Derby. I used to live on a council estate. We moved away from a council estate to Aller Street. It used to be the posh place to move to, but we basically bought our house from the council. Lived in a really nice area in Aller Street. I had Aller Street Park on my doorstep. And then went secondary school. Came from a working class background, very bang average family thing where my parents were separated.
Yeah.
Kind of weird relationship with both sets of parents, really. Kind of like not really. Yeah, just normal. Like it's a normal thing. And I'm a big overthinker. I've always thought quite big on things. I've always tried to think of things as far as I can think of them.
Yeah.
I'm not diagnosed with any neurodiversity, but I'm definitely on the spectrum, which I've seen through my own son, which I see myself in now, which makes everything make sense now.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, like my kind of future was put out for me at a very young age. In the background that I had, my career was planned for me, my path was put out for me. I wasn't going to go to university because I wasn't academically minded. I wasn't gonna, like my background was, I had, and for example, some of the clothes that I was wearing were like my mates' older brothers when
Yeah.
they were,
Yeah.
like that. We were not poor, but we didn't have money. We didn't go on mad holidays. We didn't do any of that stuff. And growing up for me, it was kind of like I wanted to do something, didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to make something of myself, whatever that bloody means. But being told what your capabilities actually are,
Yeah. Okay.
and not really understanding what you can actually do.
Where do you feel that came from? Was that a parental thing, or from school, teachers,
Bit of
or your
everything, I think. I think
peers?
a bit of programming, a bit of think
Yeah.
of social programming, like you're yeah, everything that you've just said, like it makes the whole, it combines to set parameters in your head of what you believe you are capable of doing. So I left school, and I worked from a young age. To be fair, I think I worked from like year 9, whatever age that is.
Yeah.
Used to be a bit of football coaching, and then like went into, I got offered a job to work with my mate's stepdad as a mechanic. He offered me an apprenticeship, which at the time was like, oh my god, like incredible, well done. Like you've got a career opportunity. Being a car mechanic's fucking shit. Like it's shit work, really. Working in the garage for next to nothing. I remember I got my first wage slip, like literally little brown envelope,
Yeah.
and I got paid. I can't. It was like 250 quid, and my mum took 120 quid straight off me for board.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is brutal. Like this is shit.
This is life. This is the
Yeah,
rest of my life.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy being a mechanic. I moved around a couple of times. Um, I just didn't fit that style of work, to be honest. But I got my apprenticeship. I went to college, got my apprenticeship in light vehicle maintenance, which is completely so different to what I'm doing now. But that led to me getting a job. I went through loads of different career paths. Went to Toyota, did a bit there, did some landscape work, which I really enjoyed doing the landscape work. I was
Okay. Yeah.
helping my mate out, did a few projects with him. That was really cool moment in time. Then I got a job at Bombardier,
Yeah.
now Alstrom, and
Train manufacturing site.
yeah, well, I worked on the maintenance depot,
Okay.
so I worked there fixing the trains, and I enjoyed that. I
Yeah.
actually enjoyed the shifts. Well, I didn't enjoy the shifts. I enjoyed the lads who I worked with.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't enjoy the shifts because they were killer,
Shifts are brutal, aren't
mentally, physically,
they? Yeah.
like really mess with your head. Um, but I've always thought there's more to life than work, and there's always more to life than kind of what society leads you to believe. This can't be it. That was
Yeah.
my case. Like
Yeah.
this, it can't just be about getting a getting a house, getting a car, getting a going to the football, going out at the
Yeah.
weekend,
Drinking your
getting the
pints.
nice clothes,
Yeah.
getting the promotion, getting a better job, getting better clothes, going on better holidays.
Spending more money. Yeah.
So boring,
Yeah.
and
And
so not what life's
and
about.
keeping you trapped a little bit too, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
In
not
that
what life's
perpetual
about.
cycle.
So I like really, yeah, I was deep, man. Like I was deep into, to be honest, deep into working out what reality was. Like I was
Yeah.
really keen on that stuff. And you are at that late, them early 20s, late teens, you're trying to like, you go down the rabbit holes, you
Yeah.
look at some conspiracy theories, you start looking at the world in a different way, you
Yeah.
start thinking, oh my God, there might be a different way of looking at life. Then you get stuck eating the snake's tail because you're going round in circles and nothing ever makes sense. And I think for me at that moment, nature was a real anchor point. It started to be an anchor point, but also something that I could really focus my attention on and
Yeah.
see an impact, see change, and see where it led.
So was that at the beginning? Is that just you talked about growing up near the park, Alistry Park? You said. I suppose, was that the first insight into nature and being, touching grass, as it were, and getting out and about, or were there other elements?
I think there's been loads of kind of core memories locked away in like my memory library in my head.
Yeah.
That are really important, but don't, on the surface, they're not significant to bring up. But there's like, my grandparents had an allotment plot. Used to go there in the summer.
Yeah.
They had a lovely garden. Used to love going out in the garden, being close to Alistry Park, going for runs around there when I was older, but earlier in my teens, getting chased by the police.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like we all used to.
Yeah.
But then I went away travelling for a year. So I went away travelling for a year after I did a couple of years at Bombardier. There's always my plan. Me and my now wife, we wanted to get away and go travelling for a year. That was such a significant moment in my life.
Okay.
Travelling for that year, I always say this, was like, I learned more from that year going travelling than I did ever in school.
Wow. In terms of new experiences or
everything,
a broader mind, that sort of
broader
thing?
mind, new experiences, learning that we're all the same.
Where did you go?
Went to South America.
Yeah.
So we did Brazil, Argentina. We dipped over Uruguay for a few days and then went to Bolivia. And then we went to Chile, went to Peru. Sorry, Peru, then Chile.
Amazing.
We went to New Zealand. Then we went to Australia. Worked in Australia for a bit. From Australia, went to Southeast Asia. We did Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that taught you that we're all the same. That was the main thing that you said.
The main thing was, like we all want the same things out of life.
Yeah.
The basic stuff, and everyone's very similar. Ironically, the guys in Southeast Asia want our lifestyles.
Yeah.
The guys in the Western world want their lifestyles.
Yeah.
You always want what you don't have.
Grass is always greener.
Grass is always greener. But for me, you it's the basic things that people want in life, and just learnt so much, and the stuff that I learned was when I was away was learning about how I wanted to learn. And one of my most important kind of experiences was doing ayahuasca. Like I did ayahuasca in Peru, and I was, again in them mid-20s, early 20s. I think majority of our generation go down that rabbit hole of psychedelics and what they do on the brain and and consciousness. What's the nature of consciousness and why these plant medicines out there? What does it all mean? And yeah, I mean, my biggest profound moment with ayahuasca was death is the ultimate reality and life is the holiday.
Yeah.
Which was wild.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a whole conversation in itself.
Massively.
But that was really important, and that's 10 years ago now.
That's pretty mind bending. How old were you when that happened? Early 20s.
22.
Yeah.
22. Yeah.
That's pretty mind bending, and then also to carry on the rest of your trip as well. After, I mean, pardon the pun, but after having had that experience with ayahuasca, and then carrying on, going to work in Australia, going to see the rest of the world, that's pretty profound. How does that tie all back in then to coming back to the UK, and maybe talk to me a little bit about the birth of Down to Earth?
Yeah, I mean that trip away was really important because what it did was I went to some amazing places out in nature, these amazing experiences out in nature that you see the beauty of it all and all that kind of amazing stuff. But then bringing it back to home, we went into, when we were in Australia, I worked as a chugger, so I was fundraising on the street.
Okay.
Which, if anyone has ever done that job before, it's brutal. If you've tried to be stopped by one of them people and you've walked past them like they've never existed.
Any excuse.
And it was brutal. But it was a really powerful moment for me because all you're selling is an emotion.
Yeah.
You're selling an emotion, you're selling somebody a positive emotion to be the difference, be the change that they want to see in the world. And I worked for Oxfam at the time, and it was hard graft, like really hard graft, like the amount of no's you can take, the amount of middle fingers you can take, the amount, Australians are quite blunt as well.
Okay, yeah.
But the people that I work with and the energy that we kind of created between ourselves and the way that we got ourselves about, and I was quite good at it actually.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I started to realise what I was capable of doing. In them selling an emotion, selling a dream, selling kind of myself, selling my passion. Not selling but showing, and like it's a transference of energy, you know, you're sharing energy.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to someone who's boring?
No.
Do you want to watch an interview of someone who's like, you want to be talking to people who look tired, like, what are you talking about? Like that, they're laughing at them people, they've got something good going off over there. Everything's energy.
Yeah.
And at that point, it became really relevant to me. And I remember there was an experience where I wasn't doing very well, and I wasn't able to close. And I rang up the guy who was kind of our coach. He was looking at our manager for the day, and he was like, "Take your watch off your phone. Don't worry about the time. Right on your hand." It was so cheesy, but he was like, "Right now, just right now. All you've got is now." And I did that, and I changed my perception of that kind of day. I ended up closing 8 sales back to back. I just absolutely smashed it.
Had a different energy.
Just different energy, being in the present moment. But then that breeds belief in yourself. Oh my God, I can do anything. If I can do this, I can do anything.
Yeah.
If I can travel the world and off my own back, and I can go do this and go do that and have these experiences, so then what's stopping me? So when we came back to Derby, I was like, I'm not going back to the same place that I worked. I'm not doing that.
So you
I
sacked
did.
it off straight. You sacked it off mid.
Straight back into my old job, and then I ended up getting a job at Rolls-Royce. Then me and my wife, we bought a house, so we saved up, we got a mortgage, we did all that. We bought our house because the garden was a jungle. Did all the normal stuff, got a house. We bought our house, literally it was a house that was empty for a long time, and I think people were put off by the garden. Whereas we were put on by it.
You enjoyed that.
It was mad. Our house is small, but the garden was a jungle, and we could make our mark on it. Nice. So that was really important for me. So that's kind of where my relationship with gardening really kicked on.
Okay.
But whilst I was working shift work at Bombardier, I used to go for walks in the peaks. So we'd go for walks in the peaks, me and my mate, between shifts, and we just think we're like Indiana Jones, and we'd never go back on ourselves. We always had a rule, and it always put us in. We'd always get lost, but we'd never turn back.
Okay,
You'd have to find a loop, a full loop.
Nice. Okay, never retracing your steps.
Yeah, and we'd always go for big rambles, and we wouldn't put a time limit. We'd just go out. We'd normally find a pub at the end, and we'd just go out, and that'd be it. And that helped me so much between my work pattern, and it kind of that I found there was something in there deeper than the explanation that people give about connecting with nature. There's something really deep about that, really important. Similarly with gardening and getting out, it's like being in a flow state, so at that point, getting into gardening, figuring out what I want to do. Whilst we were travelling previously, I had kind of dreams and ambitions and things that I wanted to do, and I want to do this thing, I want to do that thing, and then we came back, went back into it, got a house, got the garden, started getting into gardening quite heavy, and then Down to Earth literally was born from this kind of journey into going, there's something more deeper around this relationship there's something here. I don't know what it is. It's something different to what everybody else is talking about.
Sure.
It's something complete. It's got to be different. I was really inspired by Eden Project in Cornwall. Like, annual pilgrimage, our family goes to Cornwall. Beautiful. Eden Project, really inspired. The fact that it's only been there for 21 years. It is an Eden. It's in a disused Chinese clay pit quarry. It's an incredible space. It's an incredible thing that they've created there. An example of nature-based regeneration, and I kind of, every time I go down there, but then I come home, go back into shifts. I remember the week that Down to Earth was actually conceived, and I remember night shift, spring bank holiday weekend, get home Monday after being in Cornwall, back to work Tuesday night, finish my shift Friday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, go to sleep, wake up at 11 o'clock in the morning, get up to try and feel normal, feel like a zombie for the most of the day because I'm trying to get back into a routine.
Yeah.
I remember being a slob on the sofa watching documentaries, watching Planet Earth. And then, I mean, this was 7-8 years ago. 8 years ago, I think now. 7 years, yeah, 7-8 years ago. Watching Planet Earth, finale of Planet Earth. Big Sir Dave telling us that humans are the problem, we're the scourge of the planet, we're destroying everything. It's all going to end in doom and gloom. What is the point? You know, there is that overwhelming feeling of everybody that life is shit, it's going to end, it's awful, you know, we're killing everything, the doom and gloom. You know, people on the shop floor who I used to talk to, and their way of looking at things is, what is the point? Why should we bother? You know, people in Derby, nothing ever happens in here.
Yeah.
And all them thoughts really fucking did my head in. Like, I was not about that at all.
And that's tied into all those pressures and things you've been growing up of, you know, these are the limits of what you can achieve.
When you realise that you can do what the fuck you want, I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. And then my wife came home on that Friday, she was like, let's get in the garden. Weather just picking up, we got in the garden, it's supposed to be out for 30 minutes, out for 3 hours, mind, body, spirit, transformed, epiphany moment of, and the epiphany was, it was like a revelation. It was a revelation of how important our relationship with nature is. It's paramount to everything else. Climate crisis, carbon sequestration, biodiversity, all these words, all this jargon that nobody really understands is so insignificant compared to the overarching problem that is our disconnect with nature.
Yeah.
The most important thing that we have is our relationship with nature and reconnecting with nature, whatever that means.
And most people don't have that.
They don't.
You know, live in a pretty sterilised environment, concrete bricks all around us, going to work in a manufactured car, you know, walking on tarmac. Some people have dogs, maybe they go out and about for a walk occasionally, maybe around the local park. I think a lot of people feel disconnected, don't they?
I think they do, and also everything comes from nature.
Yeah.
So Down to Earth was born from that kind of moment of going, right, if we're so disconnected, what we've got to do is connect people back with nature.
So was that feeling that you felt it was restorative for you when you were feeling like a zombie after that night shift? You know, 30 minutes became 3 hours in the garden with the missus.
Flow, you get in a flow state, you get in the present moment, your hands are in the soil, scientific improvement to better your mood, you know, it has impact on your brain signals, connects to your, you know, to your gut health, which is insane.
Yeah.
We are nature.
Yeah.
We are nature. We are part of this whole thing. We're all from it. Like, this is all connected.
We like to think we're just visiting, don't we? Or like it's all here for our pleasure or abuse.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of, it's a Victorian mindset that works further back actually. And our relationship with nature has been, it's quite deep, but some great books on it, has been manipulated over time to the point that we look at using the terminology peasant as a derogatory term.
Yeah.
Peasants, you know, they were connected to the land.
Yeah.
You know, they were connected to the land. They had a a spiritual connection to where they were from, and you know, everything is connected to the nature, from aeroplane engines to the shoes that you're wearing to the sunglasses that you're wearing.
Yeah.
They all come from minerals from Earth.
Yeah.
They don't come from anywhere else, do they? Everything is from nature.
It's all from here.
It's all from nature,
Yeah.
but it's just how does that message translate? So to connect back people back with nature, for us, it wasn't a physical thing, it was a psychological thing. So how do we make connecting with nature as accessible as possible? How do we make that guy whose closest connection with nature is watching it through a two-dimensional screen of planet Earth with really well produced storyboarding, music, narration, videography about animals in the Galapagos and the Antarctic and the Amazon, that he's got no idea about that place, he's got no relationship with that place. That's all he's got is his 2D screen.
Yeah.
He's going on holiday to Bendel, let's face it, he ain't bothered. So how do we connect him back to his home locally?
Yeah.
How do we localise that relationship with nature to understand it? If you connect with it, you can do something right where you are. So Down to Earth was born from that, and it was about meeting people where they're at, making it as accessible as possible. Our attitude has always been don't tell, show why it's cool, show why it's relevant, show what it can do for you. And we literally just got on socials. We got on socials and we were like, how cool is it to grow potatoes in buckets? Look at this, we've grown this thing. We ain't got a clue what we're doing, but look what we can do.
So is that out of your garden to start with?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
And then it grew on socials. Our audience really engaged really well. Our mate had an allotment plot. He was really struggling with the upkeep. He asked for our help. So we were like, what better way than actually doing meetups? Why don't we do a social thing? Many hands make light work. Let's all get together and do this thing. So we started doing these socials every other week. And we got to the point where we had people from all over the Midlands turning up to these sessions that we were doing on an allotment plot in Derby.
Amazing.
We did walks in the Peak District. We had people from Halifax to Portsmouth join us for walks in the peaks that we were putting on, from all walks of life. Really diverse, and it was a vibe, and you know, that's what Down to Earth is, it's a vibe, and we picked up on that really early. That was always the concept. And then what happened from there was we created this film which was really good. It was all about normal people's relationship with nature and just portraying that, and that was really well met. We just kind of built, and we, you know, some of the best advice I've ever had from our shared mate was ready, fire, aim.
Nice.
It's not ready, aim, fire, it's ready, fire, aim.
Yeah.
Like, if you're ready and you've got a vision, just do it, action it, and then you will align.
Start now.
Yeah, you just got to do something. If you believe in something, do it.
Yeah.
And then you'll find, you will find it. The opportunities will start opening up to you. So we did that, did the walk, started doing the walks, allotment sessions, did some film screenings, did some talks, started to grow his thing. Wife was pregnant with the second child, and I came out with a plan of how I was going to leave my job to go do this full time, and then planned it out, and then COVID happened and just wiped them plans out. Which was kind of good in a way, because what COVID happened, it made everyone realise what we always realised, that underneath the surface you had all these mental health issues, all these social value issues, all these environmental issues, death of the high street, retail experience changing. So all these things were bubbling on the surface, and then COVID happened and everything erupted. During that time, we were still doing sessions, and we had people turn around to us and basically say, if you weren't doing what you do, I don't think I'd be here. Wow. Which is huge, and it's really overwhelming to hear people say that from multiple people. But when you hear that, no matter how exhausting it is, you have a duty of care as a human being to carry on what you're doing if you know fills you up. So that kind of was a driving force. So still working shifts, second baby on the way. My boy was like 1 and a bit, COVID happening. Don't know how we're going to get this back going. Don't know what we want to do. I was always inspired about doing something really big. I had that mentality of fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
I also had that mentality, if not now, when?
Yeah.
Naivety is a skill, I think. As long as you can learn as you go. I think it's really important. So being really inspired by Eden Project, and during COVID, I was like, why not Derby? Why can't we do something like that here?
Like you said earlier, people, that viewpoint, nothing ever happens in Derby.
Yeah.
Nothing ever happens here. So that was it for you. It was like, well, I'm going to make something happen in Derby.
I want to make something happen, and you know, you can go travelling, and this is a big thing for me. You can go travelling around, and you can go escape. And I would have, if it wasn't for my wife, I would have stayed travelling. I would have carried on travelling. But she wanted to come home to the family, and we came home, and something changed in me, which was around some of the big, deep-seated problems that we have, are because people aren't rooted. Like we need to, you know, you need to grow roots, and you need to. If you want to make things, there's a reason why people leave where they live, because where they live isn't good enough. So if it's not good enough, make it good enough. That was a big thing for me. Is that I want to make it something that I'm proud of, and I want to make something happen. Having children, pre-children, my mantra was, we need to be the people that we want our children to be. So if we can be positive role models for our children, and let's face it, with the future that's being presented to them right now, it's fucking grim. If we can go, hang on a minute, like, let's try and do something, let's be a change, let's be kind of these, you know, like we spoke about yesterday, is that if our job is to create a better future, what's the point? Like, we want our children to turn around to us, even if you haven't got children yet, you want younger people to turn around to you and go, at least you tried. Or, bloody hell, how did you make that happen? How did you manage that? Like, how did you manage to pull that off? Like, that's mad. Or do we want them to turn around and go, why didn't you do it?
Yeah.
What were you doing? Why did you just let that happen?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really important that we're here to build collective purpose. There's nothing more important in our eyes than our relationship with nature. There's nothing more important than us making sure there's a future better than what's being currently presented. We want to create a better future for everybody. What's more important than that?
There can't be anything.
There's nothing more important than that.
I do have that mindset of, you know, I'm just going to hit for my time, I'm going to try and rinse it as much as I can for me.
You know, our past is kind of scattered with war, and our past has got, you know, the collective purpose previously was World War II.
Yeah.
Dig for victory. Big collective purpose, bringing everyone together under a shared vision of making sure that we saved the country and saved others. We now need a new collective purpose of and a shared vision that everyone can get behind, and there's nothing more important than the future of our children.
And I think there's a beautiful part of that where you're focusing on connection with nature, that it's not polarising at all, is it? It's completely unifying. We're seeing a world where more and more people are seemingly going further to the right and to the left on the political spectrum. Differing views on how to raise kids, different views on drugs, different views on, you know, name any sort of social issue. People seem to be more and more polarised, but I suppose maybe you can tell me about things that people disagree on about nature, but pretty much it's a unifying thing.
It's a mutual leveller.
Yeah.
You could be a chief exec, you could be a binman, you could be a chef, you could be a, you know, Silicon Valley, whatever. Everyone has a mutual respect for nature. Everyone feels the same when they're in nature. They do.
And I suppose, like you said earlier, when your hand's in the soil, we're all equal, aren't we?
We're all equal, and you know, coming back round to down to a kind of the origin stories, it was really important to be as accessible as possible.
Yeah.
Because everyone needs a seat at the table if we're really serious about the issues that we face, regardless if you're a big corporate or you're an environmental organisation. What's different about Down to Earth is that we will work with everybody. We don't care. I don't care. I ain't got time to go, well, you were doing this and you were doing that. We haven't got time for that. We've got to build the future. Like we've got to build what we want, like what we want to happen and what we know was good. And so with all that kind of energy, passion, enthusiasm, kind of, and we're Down to Earth and understanding, that what we were doing was good and it was working, and people were interested in the way that we were translating the message. And the fuck it moment was, why can't we build an Eden in Derby or Derbyshire? Perfectly located in the country, real good transport links. We've got the Peak District on our doorstep. Derby City Centre's in need of a regeneration scheme connected with this. Why can't we create something here that can be modelled and scaled across the country?
Yeah.
So I wrote an email to the guy. You've got to really believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I really believed in what I was doing, and I knew he would feel that energy through that email, and he invited me to come meet him in his senior leadership team. So I went down to Eden, met the senior leadership team there, sat down, and they basically fully backed what we were doing. Tim Smith, co-founder of Eden Project, he became our mentor for about 4.5 years ago, probably a bit longer now. We've become really good friends. He's been really supportive, mentored us, supported me building a team of volunteers. We built a team of volunteers who helped push this vision of what an Eden in Derby could look like.
Yeah.
We went from a bunch of likely lads on an allotment plot doing rambles to a group. Our tag has always been connecting people with nature, their communities and themselves. So we went out with that tagline. We spoke about this relationship with Eden to other people in Derby, and you can imagine it started tweaking from hearing that Eden was coming to Derby. We did our best to sell the dream, and we started having conversations with people that we would never have conversations with. We were still seen as the likely lads from an allotment plot, but everyone was really excited about kind of what we were going to do, and we didn't really know what we were going to do. We wanted to do something big. We then went back down to Eden and caught up with how Eden runs, and met some of the team there and had another chat with Tim, and basically I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. We need to build a business plan, but I can't build a business plan because I've got work a free shift pattern, I've got 2 kids, and we're doing this community stuff.
Yeah.
He ended up writing an email to the then chief exec of Rolls-Royce, and he got me seconded, which was mental. Just like that. We got a response after he wrote that email in 12 hours, and basically the 1st of October 2021 I finished working at Rolls-Royce on the shop floor and started doing Down to Earth full time.
Wow.
And at that point we went from the likely lads to a proper business, community interest company, and our kind of tag was to be a catalyst for nature-based regeneration. We want to create a blueprint here that can be culturally bespoke, crafted to everywhere up and down the country, working with people from loads of different backgrounds to support them in their journey around nature-based regeneration. And cities, towns all have urban regeneration schemes, but they never have nature at the heart of it. Nature-based regeneration is really important because obviously nature's at the heart of it, which nature is at the heart of every single aspect of our lives.
Like we said earlier, why we're here.
Why we're here. So and to connect that to people in a way that was accessible. To make that accessible, and working with the guys at Eden Project and the support that we had from the council at that point, they wanted to see a vision of what we could create for the city. So we got an artist impression created from the head architect at Eden, me virtually giving him a tour of Derby at the time, and we brought Eden to Derby and we unveiled this plan. Our biggest criticism was, when are you going to do it? We had over 350 stakeholders come to an event that we put on at Bustle Market, It was really well met. It was real good momentum building. And then essentially from there, we were just looking for a space to do one of our projects. Naivety again is really important, but you've got to drop it at some point. So like naively, we wanted to do urban wetlands, we wanted to do a rooftop farm, we wanted to do electric daisy. We created concepts for all these different areas around the city. Some of them are kind of, some of them still on the board, but some of them we've sacked off. But we didn't know which one was going to fall first.
Sure.
By cosmic alignment, whatever you want to say, coincidence, whatever, or just from being like a Jack Russell at an ankle, which you've got to be tenacious and have positive energy. We got to a point where we spoke to some members of the city council and some of the management there around Electric Daisy. We ended up finding some funding, which wasn't enough. We ended up working in partnership with the city council, which has been one of the best things. Been a real steep learning curve for both of us, but we got to a point where we found this site, and this site was to be a meanwhile use. The plan was, and we had basically a year to prove that it was going to work, which was insane.
And just put this into context for people that maybe don't know Derby. So we're on Bold Lane, which is pretty much at the heart. We're just away from Sadler Gate, not too far from the High Street.
We're in the Cathedral Quarter, so we're in the cultural quarter of Derby. We're at the bottom of Sadler Gate, which is probably one of the most important streets in the city. A really important area for the community, and what we're doing here with this site has been not short of a miracle, if I'm honest, with the things that we've been up against to do it. We're in our third season in the and we've created essentially electric daisy. In its initial brief was, if Willy Wonka had a urban kitchen garden that also was a cocktail bar, what would that be? That's the vision and that's the dream still. Currently in its first initial phase is a community garden and event space. But it's gone strength to strength. The community absolutely love this space. The events that we do, the promoters that we work with, everyone wants more of what we're doing. And you can't put your finger on it. But I know what it is. And it's vibes.
It's vibes.
It's vibes.
That's all you need. So, do you want to talk to me a little bit about what you currently do at Electric Daisy? So, like, what's the offering that is in place right now? What can people see if they were to come through?
So, Electric Daisy is a venue that does a diverse range of events. We do sustainable food dining events, private food dining, which is all about local food, seasonal food, creating community. We do volunteer sessions, we do garden workshops, we support other community organisations with fundraising events that they want to put on here. We do house music events, we do festivals, we do kids events, we do comedy nights, we do talks, we're looking at doing film screenings, we do pop-up food, we do run clubs, we do men's mental health sessions. You name it, we do it.
In the environment being
under the umbrella of nature-based regeneration. Everything's connected with nature. So we do everything under that umbrella. And we do it in this amazing venue, which has been blessed with the weather this year.
Stunning.
And we've had to grow it from the ground up, quite literally. We've had no power, no water. It was like Woodstock 99 in the first year. It was mental. The veneer looked great, but behind the scenes it was insane. It was like on fire. And over the years it's become part of the cultural fabric of the city centre. That's the power of a vision and nature.
And would you say also community?
100% community. Community is so important. Community and creation of collective purpose is really important. So people can feel part of something. Everybody wants to be part of something that they can be proud of, put their name on it and be like, I was part of that. regardless if you work for the city council or you're a volunteer who works here in the day, or you're part of one of our advisory board, or you're part of the staff who work at the pizza box or the bar, everyone wants to be behind something that's creating something better. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. But you know, I say we're on level 3 out of 10. You know, our plan was to never be here on a meanwhile use. Our plan was always to get everyone on site to make this part of the city's, you know, like, legacy, and put our stamp on the city, and become a hub for nature-based regeneration, one of the coolest venues in the city centre. You know, with a banging educational programme, and essentially help people along their journey to have that revelation of nature, to go on their own social enterprise and support them along the way. Yeah. To be that catalyst, be that hub that all this energy that comes out of, and you know, that's the plan going forward. And you know, it's looking.
So on that 3 out of 10, can you talk a little bit more to the future of Electric Daisy and the future of Down to Earth?
Yeah, I mean, the future of Electric Daisy is going to look. It's 3 out of 10. We've got a developer building, refurbish a building for the future, kind of for the 22nd century, of what our relationship with nature looks like going forward, and designing a venue that showcases that, but also can operate commercially. Yeah. Does banging food, does banging refreshments, is relevant to today's way of being and way of life. We're really keen on this third place concept.
Yeah, beautiful.
You know, people used to have youth centres, you used to have the WI, used to have the British Legion. Some of these places, they're not redundant, they're just not relevant to today's generation. Yeah. So how do we make a place relevant for today's generation and today's lifestyle? That's the big thing for us. We're creating a lifestyle. You know, that's really, we're creating a social, creating a new way of being. We're creating a new social, a new way of being, and kind of it all starts here. Down to Earth as an organisation, you know, we run Electric Daisy, we operate Electric Daisy. We're looking at developing other projects around Derby City Centre with other collaboratives, other partnerships. We've got an incredible education programme that's being developed, and we're looking at getting that into the curriculum and beyond. And then, yeah, basically what we're doing in Derby, coming to a town or a city near you.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's it.
What would you say? That I watched a clip recently, I think it was some lads from Ilkeston were talking, I think the account is called View from a Bridge.
Yeah, I love it.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
And those 3 lads that are on the lot just going, oh yeah, there's not much goes on around here. I would just like to muck about on the bikes.
Yeah.
You know, look at this, that, and the other, keep out of trouble. But yeah, there's not much here for us. What's your message to people like that? Well, what's your view of that first? That you saw that video too, I'm sure.
I hear it big time. Think about when we were kids, what we were able to do. Yeah. Where we went. Where can they go? They get moved on anywhere they go. They don't feel valued anywhere they go. They don't feel like they've got a future anywhere they go. They don't feel like they're wanted anywhere they go. Yet we're asking them to be the future. You know they're going to feel that way. We've got an epidemic of mental health crisis in young males. Why working class males in schools are fucked, to be blunt. They are told what masculinity is. They're told that they are going to be the future problem of. They're being told that everything that's external. Why? My view, my message is no. Be the change through stuff that we're doing, which is really important to me. Because I was that young lad. I remember feeling like that, and feeling lost, and feeling like I wasn't worth anything. You know, and it's hard. You don't know where you're going to go, and you know what's the point of it all. So, like my message to, I want to work with young people like that. I want to work with people and to show them that you can do whatever you set your mind to. That old adage that's dead cheesy when you hear someone who's had like a paid for degree, or their mum and dad's have let them go on a gap year. You know, like my background is working class. Like, you've got to make the opportunity for you. You've got to have a vision. You've got to believe in something. If you believe in something, you can do anything. I really mean that. I really believe that.
That's specifically key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Finding your purpose with that one thing that you are immensely passionate about. You're able to talk about it freely and with that energy. And for those three lads stood on that bridge, with the world telling them that they're not valuable or there's nothing for them, or or here are the jobs that are open to you. It's really hard to find that passion and that purpose, isn't it?
Yeah. But and the thing is, did you know what you wanted to do at that age? Do you still
Definitely.
know? I know I'm doing this. To be fair, at that moment in time when I did this, when I had that idea in the garden, I knew this was what I was going to do for the rest of my life.
Amazing.
Which is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
But you've got to accept that it's going to be a blessing and a curse. You've got to take the positives. You've got to take the highs and the lows, and really appreciate the highs, and don't get so down with the lows. But I think we've got to give young people a positive view of the future. Let's work with them and go, hang on a minute, what do you want to see?
Yeah.
Like within these parameters, this is what we know we need to happen, right? We ain't going to tell you, we're not an old, white, middle class person who has no understanding of what life's like for you. How can we work with you, how can we work with you to make the future that you want to see?
What do you want the future to look like?
Yeah, what do you want it to look like? How do we create spaces for you? Make it safe. We've got a rise in antisocial behaviour. There's a correlation, there's an alignment between no safe spaces for these young people and nowhere for them to go and criminal activity. It's because they go to criminal activity because they're being accepted, and they're being valued. On the veneer, they're being valued.
Yeah.
So there's a reason for that. So let's show them actually you can change the world. Like my future, my vision for Waste of Wonder is that we get young people into growing stuff, and if they can understand the power of sowing stuff and planting stuff, and they can understand, it's like the stuff that we're doing with Grow Bros, like getting men to grow flowers, so they know that, so they can see it.
We walked through the tunnel yesterday and went, oh Jamie, what's this plant? What's that flower?
Yeah.
We don't know, do we? And so
and also, mate, what else is really important is making new entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Like making the entrepreneurs of the future.
Yeah.
They're all wanting to be entrepreneurs. They're all creative. Education system at the minute is so damaging to creativity and so rigid and so stagnant that it's destroying young people's creativity. We need to work on what the problems are and go, right guys, these are the problems that we face, these are the things that we've got available, how do we make it relevant, how do we make it work in more lives? That's the Waste of Wonder.
I was going to bring you on to that, yeah.
Waste of Wonder, we've got young people developing products that they can sell. So young people making waste, from waste, turn them into products that they can sell, getting them on the journey to understand, oh, hang on a minute, if I do this, then that connects to this, to that. Like making it relevant. So like we're doing worms, poo, and we get that, and that's great, and that's the whole reason why we do it. But then we take them on the journey to understand worm castings, and then with worm castings we go, right, we're going to sell this. How do we sell it? I mean, we've called our worm castings high grade and sold it in these recycled coffee bags. People love it, and then not only do young people love it, but like, we've created a customer base from it. And if we can start creating entrepreneurs and they can start seeing the signs and they can relate to the story. Something that's really important to me doing this, because if someone else was doing this, I'd back them. Yeah. I'd really back them we'd be the first in line. Yeah. But because no one else was doing it from my background, it was really important for me to do it, so people go, hang on a minute, if he can do that, why can't I do it? Yeah. That's down to earth in a nutshell, and everything else is just a tool to relay that message.
Beautiful. Let's wrap this up with advice to, not just for young people, I suppose for anybody, but bearing in mind that we talked about the education being so important, but like I said, there might be some middle-aged people that have no idea how they can nature. So have you got sort of 3 or 5 things that you might suggest of just making that first step of bringing back that sort of reconnectedness to where they are, wherever they are in the country?
Yeah, I mean, whatever your way is, you'll know what your way in is. Like, it might be growing stuff, it might be going for a walk in the Peak District, it might be going climbing, it might be on the golf course. Do you know what? There's no difference, and I read this in a book or listened to it in a book recently. There's no difference in connecting with nature between us two sitting on these benches, right? I could be drinking a beer at the end of my shift. You could be with your binoculars looking at birds.
Yeah.
There's no difference. Get rid of what connecting with nature looks like. Just get outside and get about it. And then, I mean, that's the main thing really. Feel the benefits. Put your phone down. Just forget about time for a bit. Get in a bit of a state of timelessness. And then when it comes to growing stuff, there's no such thing as success and failure really, because you'll probably kill a lot of things, and some things will do really well, but that's it. And just embrace it, let nature be your teacher, and just get about that.
Yeah, stunning. Smashing. Back in there, shall we?
Yeah, man.
Cheers, son. Bit of that.
Nice one, mate. You're happy?
I'm very happy. Well, as long as that recorded, I'm happy.
God, could you imagine? Just love it. Just absolutely love it. Oh, isn't that a dream?
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the episode. What else? Look at that. Come on. Oh yeah.